This is the 2016 Mitsubishi Outlander. Now, just 2 years ago, they came out with the third generation, but what they lost with that vehicle was the edginess of the previous Outlander, and they're slowly bringing back a little bit more edge. With this 2016 model, you get a whole new grille. They liken it to a shield. It looks similar in many ways to the Lexus front grille, but they're trying to make it more aggressive. That previous, what I call shark nose grille, really was a standout feature, and they're trying to put a little bit more edginess back into the vehicle. All Outlanders now come with LED daytime running lights. On the top GT trim level you see here, you get LED projector headlamps. You also see on the GT the 18-inch wheels. They are available on other trim levels. Also along the lower part of the door, they've put some more trim there, and they've cleaned up the design. Around the back, there's a new rear to the vehicle as well, and also LED tail lamps available on some trim levels. What's interesting about this Outlander is it kind of goes totally against the grain when it comes to other small crossover vehicles. They're fully loaded, or their top trims, the V6 equipped models, outsell the 4 cylinders, which is totally upside down compared to the rest of the market. Well, the launch is right here in Whistler, getting a chance to drive the base 4-cylinder, the V6, and maybe find out why the V6 is the preferred choice. Now, one of the reasons why I think this vehicle sells so well is because it offers a lot of space and a lot of value. So if you get a V6 equipped model, you get a 3rd row of seats. Now think about the options that are available with 3 rows of seats in the Canadian marketplace. You've got the latest Nissan Rogue, and you've got this Outlander. If you go into the premium space, you might be able to get some offerings. On size, this vehicle is about the same size as a Kia Sorento, which is more money. So that 3rd row of seats stows down, and it really is only a 3rd row in a pinch for small children, but a lot of people like that. They have to take an extra child to swimming lessons or what have you, they can put them in the back. Now the back seat has been updated. The previous way of getting the back seat folded down was a bit of an issue. Now they've got this nice fold feature where you pull one lever, it folds down the headrest, then you pull another level and the seat bottom flips forward, making room for the seat back to go down. That works on both sides. To put it back up, you just reverse that. It's much easier and makes cargo space in this vehicle fantastic. So if you don't get the V6 with the 3rd row of seats, you get an extra cargo space under the back, and when the back seats are folded down, it's really quite a roomy cabin. So what other changes are there for this new Mitsubishi Outlander? Mostly up front here, you've got a revised steering wheel, better grade leather, more chrome, a thicker steering wheel. That's good. Also, display audio has been introduced to more trim levels. They've upgraded it to now have redundant features on the outside, push button, better switch placement than the previous version, and you get a backup camera with that. If you go up to the Navi equipped models, you also get a revised screen with new trim around the outside and better switches. So that's all welcome. Also, this is a comfortable cabin, plenty of room for everybody in the inside, and prices really are attractive. Now, base model front-wheel drive starts at just under $26,000, just under $27,000 to get all-wheel drive. If you want to get a V6 equipped vehicle with more power and that 3rd row of seats, that's $31,000. And the most expensive GT with navigation, the one you see here, is around $38,500. Now, just as a comparable, I just drove the new Hyundai Tucson. Doesn't have the same kind of space on the inside, doesn't have the available 3rd row, doesn't have V6 power. Sure, it's got that small turbocharger, but this vehicle is less expensive than their top trim level. So you decide which one you'd rather have, but you can't argue that Mitsubishi has offered a lot of features inside this vehicle, and they've kept the price, even though the Canadian dollar has been falling, relatively the same. All right, we're going to go out on the road, drive the 4-cylinder with a new trick-up hit sleeve and this V6. Now, because most people buy the V6, Mitsubishi saw an opportunity. Let's get more people to buy the 4-cylinder model. I was back at the launch of the 2014 model, and I noticed that it wasn't that sophisticated a feeling transmission and driveline, a bit noisy. And that's what they've done with this new 2016. They paid attention to driveline noise, also wind and road noise, and this vehicle is much quieter than the previous model. Also, this comes with what they call an 8-step continuously variable transmission, which mimics driving a regular automatic transmission. And it definitely does feel much more engaged than the previous model. Once in a while, it still shows its CVT-ness, if that's a word. When you put your foot all the way to the floor, it has that feeling that it's trying to catch up with itself, but they all do that. What you also have is a situation where the ratio of the gears from the lowest to the highest has been expanded and friction has been reduced in the transmission, which first of all improves the run to 100 kilometers an hour by 1 full second and gets better fuel economy. So the 4-cylinder now feels more polished, it has better fuel economy, and it's a nice quiet place to spend some time, so I don't see why they wouldn't get more people to try this when the previous model kind of felt crude. So the V6 Outlander has been the best seller. 70% of people have been buying it for probably a bunch of reasons. First of all, it has a better towing capacity, 3,500 pounds. It's got a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission, which is what they're trying to get that new CVT to feel like, but the best way to make it feel like a conventional automatic is to put one in. Also, you get more power. It's a 3-liter unit with 174 horsepower and 215 foot-pounds of torque, which provides a smoother and quieter driving experience. Also, you get the standard rear seats and you also get standard all-wheel drive. And if you get the top GT trim that I'm in here, you get the more performance-oriented all-wheel drive system that actually has torque vectoring through the actual drivetrain instead of some of the tricks other manufacturers do by breaking one of the wheels. This actually has the ability to do torque vectoring, which gives you much better confidence. But I have to tell you, one of the objectives with retuning this 2016 model was to try to find a balance between comfort and handling. The previous model, the 2015, some thought was too soft, so they've turned it up a little bit in the handling department, but I'm here to tell you it still really is quite soft. Driving through the mountain roads here, getting it into a corner, there's quite a bit of body roll, but not everybody drives in conditions like this. If you're using this as a daily commuter, it's smooth, it's quiet, it's refined, it has more power, and the available torque vectoring, which makes it a nice option for less than much of the competition is charging. Well, the one thing you have to hand Mitsubishi, they've made changes after just 2 short years. They're making the front end look a little bit edgier. You have to decide whether you like it or not. I particularly like this GT trim level, and even when it's fully loaded, it's less expensive than some of its direct competitors. You get V6 power, you get the 3rd row of seats, you get all kinds of nice tech and navigation, backup camera, advanced safety features, all of that. They're hoping that the improvements they made to the 4-cylinder are going to get more people into the 4-cylinder. Time will tell if that philosophy is going to pan out. So the Outlander, it's not an aggressive vehicle to drive. It's much more relaxed and sedate, quiet and smooth, and there's certainly a big market for that.